Okay, hi everybody. We're back for live part two, and I'm gonna move this here. You'll notice my picture changed here. And before I continue my lesson, this is a continue for anybody just finding this stream and tuning in right now. This is a continuation of the lesson I was just doing for the tune of 2+ hours. Now the thankful thing is that I believe the it didn't because I wasn't able to properly end and close out that video. I thought it was lost forever. My phone went dead suddenly in the middle of the lesson. I try so hard to try to be a content creator, and there's something is always in the way. Always. If it's not my job, it's like something is trying to steal. It feels like it, when you get weird like that. My ability to be a content creator. There's always something about it. And so I'm going to take a pause here, and I'm going to, before I get back to ending up my lesson, which we were only a few minutes away from. And it's going to be a little harder now because I can't show you the diagrams like I was doing before. We're just going to do this. I'm looking at my computer here. I'm going to have a blurb here that just says why you should support a content creator and why all these people are like, oh, my Patreon page, support me on Patreon, support me using there's a couple other things now, buy me a coffee or something like that, which I definitely should get into. Excuse me, that's terrible to do that. Don't support a content creator that burps on screen. But anyways, it's not easy making videos, man. People look at content creators and are like, oh, bullshit. I'm not, giving this guy a buck for being a YouTube star, this guy should get a job like I got a job, A lot of people think like that today. If they're working hard, you better work hard too, or you shouldn't eat dinner. But here's the deal. This looks pretty easy, but it's like everything that looks easy. Creating content is not easy, and getting it to all work out online. And here's another thing. I thought I'd be on here for about 15 minutes making a cool, slick way to do this play modes on guitar in 15 minutes, because this is really about 15 minutes of information, but getting it all, talked about, trying to make sure that I'm thinking about all the people who get stuck on things where they have questions and stopping there and clarifying. Well, it turns 15 minutes of information becomes 2.5 hours. So it's hard to condense this stuff. It's hard to take what you're thinking, oh, they're just talking about stuff they know. That's easy. Yeah, because I'm talking about stuff I know here. But it's it's not easy to condense this stuff down because I know for a fact my audience wants to watch about 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So people got to go to work. People are watching YouTube on the toilet, and they want to see a 5-minute video and move the hell on. So, it's difficult to make anything concise. If you see someone that really made a video that got to the point, didn't ramble on, they did any kind of editing. It's not a live video, it's an edited one. That stuff takes hours to do properly. Then you're all in your video software. And folks, support your content creators. It's a real deal. This is a real job, and it's a more or less a pain in the butt. And sure, yeah, it gets easier as you go. But easier as you go. So that being said, let me try to finish off where I was. If you want to know where I was, watch the previous lesson. We were at the final point of navigating our fretboard and finding a way across it. And one problem I think that we are going to experience here, right hand, left hand, is I'm thinking everything looks backwards here. Let me try to do this. Yeah, because, well, I guess, yeah, okay, yeah, see, it's looks to me like my keyboard or my, you can see all the words are backwards here, so this is going to be kind of useless because now everything is backwards, so. Oh Lord, I'm really not going to be able to finish this lesson. Other than we were talking about, there was some two rows of squares, and the final thing I was showing is that I'm going to try to draw and hold this at the same time. Oh Lord, I was showing you I was turning our square boxes. We had a navigation path of boxes here, and I'm just populating each side with these two notes. And I had indicated earlier that this was all there was. Oh my God. So that stands to reason. If I fill this box in, I've taken this one already. Oops. I told you this wouldn't be easy. And I put a box on each of the corresponding, we'll call these the walls, put them on each side. Okay. I've done it for every box in row number 1. Let's do it for every box in row number 2. There's a half box. We only need one. It's our full box. Put that one there. Put one right here. These are the notes you would play. And so here's a broken box. What we call a broken box? We need a note there. We need a note there. We've already got one here. This one is going to need one right there. Right there. And here we are back to our initial box. Once again, you guys are all watching this in reverse, but I'm just not trying to show you the scale then in that regard. I'm just trying to show you a little kind of magic trick here. So I've filled in forward and backwards on every note. And as you can see here, since I'd have so our orange, in theory, we'd have our box here. And never mind, I just screwed that up. But if you if you add in these on each side, next thing you know, the whole major scale is populated on your fretboard and there's no note missing, because literally this is all you need to know to master the major scale on a guitar fretboard, is a pattern of notes like that we played in our last video. So I'm going to wrap up this since it's kind of useless here. Our camera is useless. I was using we had our nice above the paper mount. This is what I was using here, mounted to the table. Mount the cell phone, but better plug the cell phone in. But all I had was two outlets here, and that's the what do we got plugged in here? Spark amp and our PC. We probably could have left the PC. This is probably that's okay. Well, you don't see me very often, but here I am. This would be better on the cell phone because it shows the information properly. So that being said, we're going to do one final thing here that I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, but let's give it a try. I don't know if I go off of that page. I think it's still streaming. I hope it's still streaming. I'm going to open up 2 YouTubes here. And video sharing. Oh, YouTube, resume your journey yet? Well, I'm already live streaming, so we're gonna go with let's do a Lydian backing track. Oh, I got what's up here is a B Dorian Epic Funk Groove, but we already did that one, so let's try Lydian. So we're gonna type in Lydian in the search bar, and we're gonna try backing track. Backing track. It'll be fine. We didn't put any note in. We're going to let YouTube pick the note. So Epic, here's another one from this Epic thing. So we're going to go with C Lydian. And, a G Lydian. Let's try G Lydian because here we've got a Satriani style rock. That sounds kind of cool. So we got a smooth backing track in A Lydian. Let's try Satriani one. Let's do that. So here we are. Going to hear it pretty soon. Turn turn it up so you can hear it. C Lydian, what do we need to do then? We need a pentatonic shape. Is Lydian major or minor? Lydian is major. And the note is C. So I know my E string, my C is here. G Lydian. G. I know my G note is here. There we go. And I need a major. Okay. So G Lydian backing track. What I did is I took my pentatonic shape like we talked about it, and I mounted the major root. We've got 1, 4. The 1 is the minor root. The second note on the 4 frets up is the major root. You know, Lydian is a major mode, so I mounted it and it said G, and I mounted on the G, and there was that G note. It sounded good because it's the root of the progression. And then I played the whole pentatonic, and it sounded great against the progression. And I could just sit there jamming on pentatonic like I did for the first few bars. But I want my other 2 notes in there, and I say 2 notes because pentatonic is 5, and the scale, an actual major scale, which is what these are all based on, are 7 notes. So the difference between 5 and 7 is 2 notes. I need to add in 2 notes. These 2 notes are always half-step notes. A pentatonic is made up of a leap to a, whenever you go more than 1 fret, it's called a leap. Going 1 fret up, that's a half step. Skipping 1 fret is called a step. All of those were steps. So, and if it didn't sound like a major scale, that's because the major scale breaks the whole steps up with half steps. But anyways, I don't want to get too confusing there, but it's just all the things you know can think would be neat tidbits for people. But anyways, got a leap, then a step. It's made up of steps and leaps. What we're missing is our half steps, and our half steps give us that sadder sound. They really add in emotion to your scale. We want to know what half steps and where. So our Lydian, we've got our half steps. Go back to the other lesson to know why I can do this so fast. Our half steps are going to be here. This is our Lydian. We know our Dorian Lydian shape is. Now, I'm playing this scale based on not the Lydian root. I went to because that's the natural major scale. That's where, if we're kind of noodling on a scale without any reference in the background, most of us are going to just kind of default to the major scale, which is what I just did. 7-1. Okay. But anyways, as we discussed earlier, you can look at the last video. Hopefully you went through that. Lydian, it's always based on the 4. Here's our 1 of a major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got our pentatonic mounted there. 1. From the 12th fret, we've got 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. And then we're going to use that shape that we talked about. We have 3 pentatonic shapes. We showed you how to make that. So we know our gut notes are here. It's where our square is. And I'm also thinking about the concept of squares that we talked about. Noodling around pentatonic shapes that I know where the gut notes are. See, I'm here on the fretboard, thinking Dorian Phrygian. But if I wanted to connect all across the fretboard, I know where did I say I was? I want to play over here. I'm thinking about my squares. I knew I hit a wrong note there, and I just knew that my square was 1 fret up from there, so I went. It didn't sound that bad because I was able to recover from it by this knowledge. And that's our E minor muffler, UPS muffler. So if I was here, where would I go to get somewhere else? Well, I'm in my Aeolian shape. Here's a square box. I could get back to my Dorian Phrygian just by going to this box. Now I know where I am in that shape. Back to Aeolian. The shape of Aeolian, it's not the scale. Because in theory, we're still hearing this as our background chord. I know that I can do that because I know it's always that. The 4 is always the bottom corner of the box. 7-1, 3-4. Played wrong note there. Because my mind tried to turn the notes. It was hearing everything as playing from the 1 normal Ionian, because that's almost assuredly programmed in your head because of the majority of music that's just based on the 1 Ionian. But anyways, we're trying to play in Lydian here, and I'm trying to show you how I get up the scale. So here's the square. And I said, as is above, so is below. We have a half box here. You can hear it's all the same note. Got a square here. I know if I'm in this square, I'm in Aeolian. Back to the pentatonic. Half step, back in the scale. Pentatonic, scale note. Half step there. Pentatonic, with a gut note. You hear how it's kind of ambiguous when you play the. It's got a sound to it, but there's that sweetness as soon as you hit a half step. Here it is. Here's all that squeaking out, squeezing out all that last bit of emotion by adding in those half steps. And that's what gives pentatonic its sound, because it's devoid of that emotion. So you're playing the important notes that are devoid of the real emotional notes. And that's what gives the pentatonic its kind of a more kind of above all things sound, I guess. It's a vague way to put it. But anyways, so as above, so is below, connecting my scales, my boxes by the corner, like we talked about as a rule. I'm in Dorian now, the Dorian shape. I'm in my Phrygian box here. And the Phrygian box has a value because when you learn your open chords on your guitar, E minor, E major, G major, G minor, D minor, D major, A minor, B minor, B major, C minor, or C, C minor. If you know all those shapes, those when you learn those shapes in the key of C, what overlaps that section of open chord, this first 3 frets, including the open string, is the Phrygian shape. So if you're ever finding yourself there, where were we in this one? So G, that'd be here. If the music was going toward a D minor after a, for some reason, I know my chord tones are going to be those are all going to cater to the D minor chord because I'm playing. Oh, my bad. I am catering to those, to the same patterns that I use for the open. That's going to be what I'm saying is I'm thinking about where's an area where I could really know all the chord tones really quickly. You know, if I need to play over a C really fast, then I would know it's here. Now, C shape, because we were on the D, so that was actually D major. See, I'm going, stepping away, back to a chord tone, or step away, chord tone. Got a bend in there, bent to a chord tone. Still nailing, going back to those chord tones. You're suggesting to the listener that you know what's up. That's going to sound cooler than just kind of just arriving anywhere in the scale. Those work by experiment, or when you get really, really, really good and you've done this for years, you'll just know all those tones. It's kind of like, okay, well, that sounds good because it's technically not a chord tone, but it's a ninth. You'll hear when you start hearing that stuff in music theory lessons. Now, once you know this what I'm teaching you today, you can start to know all that stuff. Anyways, so that's the value there with the Phrygian scale. Let's do it like this. Let's play the 1 chord. Let's play the 2 chord. went onto the box there to play it though. It would be here. 3 chord. We hit a wrong note there. Our 5 was flat, so 1, 3, flat 3, 5. Let's play our 4. 4 is always major, so we need a, and that's what I would consider as the F open chord shape. Even though we're not playing an F, it's still the same as that F shape that I learned when I was learning my open F. If I want to play an F minor, and that comes from the big bar chord shape. Oops. It's the bottom notes. You're just missing there. You're just omitting the top 2 strings. Minor, and then major. All of my guitars and tunes, people like to play along with this stuff, and then they're like, dude, your guitar sucks and it makes the lesson hard. We're flat. Took this out of the case just a while ago. Now we're going to be out of tune. Trying to play Metallica there. Anyways, so I'm going to play that same pool of notes, but I'm going to turn on the backing track. G Lydian. So I'm going to mount a pentatonic scale on the note G. I need to know where my notes are on the E string, so I know what G is always here. Because I want to start kind of up here, so I'm going to use this one. Now, Lydian is a major, so major chord. Major note in the pentatonic. And basically what you might say, well, Mark, that's E minor pentatonic. Well, like we said, think of these scales as like E, G, or A, C, or D flat, E, right? Because it's major and minor, or minor and major. Minor, or major. Okay, so here's another way I'm going to do this. Sounds kind of happy, right? Let's play it with an E root. Here we just use the open E. Same pool of notes though. Sounds like a puppy lost in the forest. So when that was just due to we're comparing all the notes to the lowest note. That's what your ear does, and the lowest note was dictating whether that was major or major. Oops. Chord tone, hear how it went. Settles nicely on a chord tone, which was actually an octave, just going back to the G. Okay, so Let's turn on the backing track, a G Lydian. I found the G, mounted my pentatonic, and I know what gut notes I need for Lydian. My half step is going to be here. My half steps always make the box. And those box tells me where I am. In Lydian, the Aeolian shape. So let's try it out. See if any of that works. Hear the bad note? So here's play on the G. Chord tones. Using the other notes, landing back on the chord tones. Away, home. Away, home. Using my ear. It's going. Back to G. Now to solid G. Let's bend into a chord tone. Doesn't sound too bad. Let's bend from a chord tone away. Doesn't really work. Needs to end on a chord tone. Statement. Chord tones. It says A, G major. Just back to G. The 4, major. 5 is major, 6 is minor. See how that works to complete my phrase? Bend to the chord tone. Now with the chord tones, I'm thinking B minor, 6, 4 major. Oh, sorry, 5 major, 4 major, 6 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 4 major. Hopefully you get the idea. We're ending this lesson now. Why right now? Because I'm getting called for pizza. And pizza always overrides teaching guitar. So let's read what's going on here in this backing track. By reading what's going on in the backing track, I mean this. Trying to explain some stuff to us. Let's see what they say. It says, now I will give you 2 new tools you can apply to easily master this mode and in other modes as well. First, let's expand, reach, and dominate more fretboard by shifting position. Okay, so they shifted to a new position. They're explaining the same thing I did, just choosing their own way to do it, and I think it's a little hard. But see, they're just kind of showing like you can use this pattern, but I see this as Dorian. There's my square, there's my square, and there's my square. Unfortunately, well, you're not even seeing this because I'm not holding the camera properly, and you've got the it's backwards. So since that's kind of useless, we're going to leave the lesson here today. I hope you found the second stream versus what we showed here. Oh, look, 1 million pictures. That's weird. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful, and I appreciate everybody watching. Like we said earlier, support your content creators because this stuff is not easy to do properly or even good. I don't know about you. I think there's a lot of important content here, but with everything that happened here, this lesson kind of sucks compared to a lot of other guitar teachers. So let's go from there. Thank you for watching, and we're hitting end stream right now.